Today we will be testing a 5-minute scalping strategy. Before we do, if you have not watched the first videos on the channel and the videos after that, you need to go do that now. Here at the Academy of Forex, we are building the best trading system possible as a team. You can find a link down below to sign up for TradingView. If you use that link, you'll save a little bit of money on your account. You can also find a link below to join us on Discord. If you are interested in a full list of all the indicators and strategies that we have tested along with their win rates, you can sign up for our Patreon. And you will receive a full list of all the indicators and strategies that we have tested. You can find a link to our Patreon down below in the description. We also have a Patreon-only exclusive Discord channel where we will give you a list of winning indicators, a list of winning strategies, post trade ideas, give advanced advice, and much more. So click the link below to join our Patreon. Alright, as I said, today we will be testing a 5-minute scalping strategy. Before we do though, wanted to put the testing scoreboard up for everyone to see. So to date, we have tested a total of 102 different strategies, with 30 of them being winners. The best one so far was able to achieve an 84% win rate. That is the Academy of Forex indicator with the Z-score probability indicator. I will put a thumbnail of that video up on screen right now, and I'll also link to it at the end of this video with that same thumbnail. That way you can go straight there and watch that video on the best strategy that we have tested so far. We've also tested a total of 971 indicators, with 408 of them being winners. The best ones so far were able to achieve a 100% win rate. Now you need to go back and watch those videos to understand the context of how we were able to achieve that. So go back and watch those videos and see what you can get out of those winning indicators. We've also retested in the advanced testing 110 of the winning indicators. 39 of them have been able to maintain the winning status, the best two, a 76% win rate. Keep in mind that we test most of these indicators and strategies on the Forex and crypto market, but they can be applied to just about any market and time frame universally. Alright, so today we are looking at a 5-minute scalping strategy, and the strategy was in the source video shown on the 5-minute time frame on the Great Britain pound versus the Japanese yen. In the source video, it claims that you can quit your job after trading this simple strategy, and so quite a claim being made there. And the strategy itself consists of 3 different indicators. So the first indicator that we have on screen is going to be the pivot point high low. So this one right here is a TradingView built-in indicator. So you will put that one on screen. Go ahead and turn those ones off. Look at our pivot point indicator here. And so everything stayed the same on this, except for I did change this pivot high color to red and this pivot low color to green. It's not necessary, but just a little bit easier for me to distinguish the two, whether they're a high, pivot high or a pivot low. The next indicator that we are going to add on screen is going to be the multi-type. So multi-type RSI, and it's going to be this one here, the multi-type RSI Misu there, that one on screen. So you'll click that, add it to the screen, and you'll go in, and under the smoothing MA type, you're going to change that to SMA. And under the signal type, you're going to change that to cross MA/bands. Everything else stays the same. I did go in, and on the source video, they turned off the middle band. And so you can turn that off if you would like. And that'll have it on screen as you see there. The last thing that we're going to add is going to be an ATR stop loss. And it's going to be this ATR stop loss indicator by Edgar right there. And you'll add that to screen. And the only thing that we changed on that was just the visuals. We changed these to a gray color, but you can have them to whatever color you wish. And so that gives us all the indicators as you see on screen here. And so what we are looking for is we are going to first and foremost look for the multi-RSI to break out above the top line or down below the lower line. And you can see that it gives us this little bit of coloration here. And that's not 100% necessary to see that. Sometimes it just barely breaks out and you really can't see that coloration. But more importantly, we're just looking for one of the lines to break out above or below the top line or the lower line. And so in this case, we can see the little red cloud there. Then what we're looking for is going to be one of these dots here, and so we get a red dot right there. And then we are looking for the established pivot point right here to the top side, and it's going to be our signal to go short, which is why I colored those in as the red coloration. Now, the pivot point marker doesn't show up as that specific candle is being closed there. So let's just jump back here a little bit so that way you can see what I'm referring to. So if we play this forward here, you can see that that marker, that pivot point marker, was right here, but it hasn't actually shown up on screen yet. And so it doesn't actually show up on screen until quite a few candles later into the future. So this is where it actually shows up, and that's where we would actually enter our trade at that point. So we would then have a short trade right there. Our stop is going to go right at the ATR band there to the top side. And then we're going to target a 1 to 2 risk reward. And the source video said that you would actually open 2 trades. You would have the first trade set up like this. So we'll just go ahead and play this forward here. And you see that one right there hit our take profit. So at the 1 to 2 risk reward, you'd go ahead and close that trade. And then they said on the second one, you would have set up right there, same stop there, but in this particular case, what you're going to do is you are going to let this one ride with more of a trailing stop. And so what you're looking for is going to be, let's just go ahead and play this forward here. All right, so right there. So basically what we have is a signal to go the opposite direction. So we have the breakout to the downside with a green dot there. And again, you can barely see that breakout to the downside, but we get that breakout to the downside just barely with the green dot on the RSI. Then we have our pivot marker established there. That's where you would close the second trade. And so that second trade be right there and closed about right there. So on the first trade, we hit a 1 to 2 risk reward. On the second one, a 3.3 to 1 risk reward. And so that would be an example of a short trade. And then of course the opposite would be true for a long trade. And so you're looking for all of those to set up the same way. Now in the source video, it said that you want these pivot markers to show up close to the breakout of the RSI and the dot, but they didn't really give an exact time frame or an exact number of candles. They just said close to, so it's kind of subjective, and we just did the best we could. And so basically I just ignored where it showed up as long as it didn't give me a RSI breakout to the opposite direction, then wherever that pivot showed up, I considered that to be a valid entry. So for example, right here, you can see that we get this green breakout right here, and we don't get a pivot that shows up until here. And so the RSI didn't break out to the other side within that time frame, and so I took that as a valid trade, and that one made a really nice push to the upside as well. So that was the strategy that they outlined. Alright, so that puts us at the end of the testing right there. Before we take a look at what this was able to achieve, if you are looking for a profitable trading strategy, I highly suggest you check out the best strategy that we have tested on the channel here. It was able to achieve an 84% win rate. I'll put a screenshot up of the thumbnail to that video right now. I'll link to it up in the corner, and I'll also link to it at the end of this video with that same thumbnail. Like I said, it is a highly profitable trading strategy, was able to achieve an 84% win rate. It uses one of our custom indicators that we've developed here on the channel, as well as a trading view indicator, and all around it is a wonderful trading strategy. I highly recommend you check that out. And so there is a lot of benefits to becoming a patron of the channel. I highly recommend it. Alright, so let's go over the numbers on the strategy. So initially, it looked like this strategy was doing really well. Like I said, this was a nice trade right here. This was a nice trade right here. It seemed like the majority of the trades were doing pretty decent, getting some decent risk reward ratio. And so it wasn't until I crunched the numbers on these, and specifically the most challenging part was how it was set up with two trades instead of just one trade. And so that means that every losing trade that you take means that it's going to be a double losing trade essentially. And so if you don't hit even your first take profit, or the second one isn't triggered before it hits your stop loss, then it's a pretty hard stop loss there, a pretty significant amount. And so the win rate on this was a 42% win rate. So we had 21 winning trades and 29 losing trades. And so that really did just create an issue. Like I said, if the win rate was better, then it probably would have overall just been a better strategy. But on the losing side, it's pretty easy to calculate those because it was just kind of a flat rate. Like I said, a risk of 2. So let's say that for every losing trade you were risking $200, for example, then that puts you at $5,800 on the losing side with 29 losing trades. On the winning side though, since it was like I said, 2 trades, one with a trailing stop and one with just a flat rate, after adding them all up, it was a total of $4,900. And so that puts you at a pretty decent, significant loss there of at least $900. Then any spreads or commissions or anything like that would have put you down even more. And so definitely don't quit your day job trading this specific strategy. The source video came from a relatively new channel, and it just goes to show that people just keep popping up with these channels, making some pretty ridiculous claims with no ability to back them up, which is why we test them to see if those claims are actually true. I know people don't like seeing losing strategies, but hopefully this will save you from watching that source video and thinking this is a great strategy, jumping into the market and losing lots of money. So that's it for this one. Stay away from this strategy, and I'd say the channel is a little questionable as well. So we're going to go ahead and cut the video here because it's getting super duper long, and we will see you on the next video.